Good morning, Flosstube. It's Sarah here. Welcome to my channel all about cross stitch and usually some other stitchy talk as well, but I think today it's mainly cross stitch. No quilting today, but if you wait till the end, I do have something lovely to show you, which is a little tour of my stitching nook, which is just that way in relation to where I'm sitting now. So that will be at the end of the video, and if you're interested, you can hang around for that. Welcome to my returning viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for keeping up the community here. And to those of you who are new, I hope that you might like it enough to want to join and hit like and subscribe to the channel. So since last time, there are 3 exciting things to share with you. The first is that we have exceeded 2,000 subscribers, sorry. And that's very exciting. I honestly always just thought it would be me and maybe 5 or 6 other people here. To think that there are 2,000 of you who are interested in what I have to say is really quite mind-blowing. But I'm so grateful for it, because in real life there are definitely not 2,000 people here interested in listening to me prattle on about my stitching. So thank you so much for pushing up the numbers. You know that that's not what it's about here. It's about the community. So if there were only 5 of you and we were chatting, I would be just as happy. But it's very nice to know that this community is big and it's beautiful. It's really just a lovely community to be part of. So if you hold on to the end, or to just before the Sewing Nook tour, you will be able to participate in my 2,000 subscriber giveaway. So hang on for that. Of course, this lovely community really is something special, and I have been blessed this week since last time, in the last couple of weeks, with some special stitchy kindnesses. I can't share them all with you today, but hopefully maybe next time. But I do have one to share with you this morning, and that is this beautiful pile of linens. Look. So in my last video, I did mention that I don't stitch much on linen, and I usually mostly use the even weave. It's more in my budget, that kind of thing. I do stitch from time to time, but anyway, I had mentioned in the last video, and after that I was contacted by one of you lovely ladies who said, oh, I have this little bundle of 32 count linen that she doesn't use anymore, and she prefers to stitch now on 28 count. So she's not using the 32 and was very happy to pass it on. So I am so touched by the generosity of this gift. These are absolutely gorgeous linens, and I have to say that these are, I'm going to try and show you the colours, although the light is particularly poor this morning since it's outside. It's very grey and wet and rainy, but beautifully green. These colours of linen, yeah, that's looking better. These would be my perfect colour palette of linen. My linen of choice, my colour of choice wouldn't be the darker, more brown linens, but these are beautiful. So I am so very grateful for these. I thank you so much for passing them on, and I will make very good use of them over time. I'm already trying to think what I can stitch on them when I get time for some new starts. So thank you so much. I am really touched by the kindness of this community, who are so willing to share and be supportive. So thanks a million. So my other happy news this time is that I have another job. It's a second job, so it's not instead of my main job. But as you know, things were changing there, and that business has been badly affected by COVID and all the restrictions and international travel and that sort of thing. So there just isn't the work for me there at the moment, and my hours were rather dramatically cut. But rather unexpectedly, I answered an advert just to be a kitchen helper at Charlotte's school last week, and they almost bit my hand off because they were so desperate for help. And so that's what I'm doing. I've got another second little part-time job. So I just have 2 small jobs, but it's good to have something else keeping me out of trouble, stopping me from being online probably. And yeah, that's been fun. So, but it's been really busy. And although it's not a lot of hours, it's just taken a while to get used to, and re-establishing some of our routines here, so that I can be out in the middle of the morning right through lunchtime. So so far so good. It's all coming pretty well. Of course it's affecting stitchy time, but you know, you can't have everything, and there will still be plenty of time in the evenings for stitching. So yes, some big news, 2,000 subscribers, wonderful stitchy kindnesses, and another job. So I think we'll move straight on now to our stitching. And I wanted to share with you this previous finish. This is, you'll know I'm a big fan of modern folk embroidery, and this is a finish that I stitched in honour of my mum. My mum suddenly and reasonably traumatically passed away 3.5 years ago, and I miss her terribly, and right now I'm just missing her, well, more than usual. And I wanted to share this finish with you just because she's on my mind a lot, so it made me think of this one, which I haven't shown you because, sorry, I'm looking for something to hold it up against because I haven't got the board here. Oh, here. Sorry, I wanted to show it to you because it's beautiful, and I haven't shown it to you because I'd stitched it before I started Flosstube. So this is the modern folk embroidery. It's actually a freebie on Jacob's site, and it's called the Mother's Day pattern. So if you look on the modern folk embroidery site, you will see that there's a small freebie section, and this is in it. I stitched it in a DMC 48, which is a variegated pink, and I stitched 2/2 on this linen, which I have no idea what it is. Originally, it's not, the colour's not showing terribly well, but it is a blue. Originally this linen was cream, and I don't know what it is. I do know that it was left over from a kit from years and years and years ago, which I stitched. There were 3 cottages in this kit, and there were 3 pieces of fabric, and I only ever stitched 2 of the cottages, I think. One is in my mum's house, and I don't know where the other one went to, but anyway, I had this piece of linen, which I happen to know this was left over from, so I have no idea what it is. It's a very open weave. I don't know if you can see there. It's a very open weave, but it was actually really lovely to stitch on. And as I said, it was cream, and I just took a notion one day to play with some dye. I used Dylon powdered dyes, which are available here in the UK. And this was vintage blue, and it actually took the colour really nicely. So I thought it worked well with this nice pink, and you can see I haven't fully finished this. I think it's going to be a pillow whenever I actually get round to sitting down and tackling that finishes pile to make them fully finished. I think this will be a pillow, but I'm just missing my mum, and it reminded me that I had stitched this in her memory, and so I thought I would share it with you today. There you go, that's modern folk embroidery. So as you can imagine, I've been juggling the extra ball of another job, because I started pretty much immediately, having responded to the application on a Wednesday. I started on Thursday last week. So I didn't maybe get on as far as I thought I did, but I've done quite a bit. I've done lots of little bits on lots of pieces. So I still do have something to share with you this morning. So first up is the Blackwork Rainbow Cross from Peppermint Pineapple. Pineapple? My brain is fried. Peppermint Purple. Okay, here we go. Maybe I should just go back and start again. Peppermint purple, here we go. It's a black work pattern and it is called the Rainbow Quilt Cross, you can see. Okay. I'm stitching this on an 18 count white Ada using a single strand of a large multi-box of flosses that I had from years ago, but it really takes so little thread. It's fine, and this time, it's hard to get it all in shot here. This time I have been working on these 3 blocks of purple colours. So some of them I enjoyed stitching more than others, it has to be said. This one was fine, and this one was fine. It looks busier than it was. This one, I call it the little envelopes. I'm not sure if you can see. They look like little envelopes all connected. That was a humdinger, really. So, but they look good. So slowly, week by week, section by section, I'm filling in the white gaps. And I do love it. I do think it's fabulous. And it makes me realise that all the complaining about backstitching is nonsense. my complaining is nonsense, because I actually like to do this, so what is the difference with backstitching? I did say before, I think it's just, the backstitching thing is just the idea that you've finished all your stitching, that you're done, and then, oh no, you have to go back, you're not really done, you have to go back. So I need to start considering the backstitch as much a part of the project as the cross stitch, I think, and then that would make a difference. It's all in my head, but people tell me that all the time. It's all in your head, Sarah, it's all in your head. So that was the black work rainbow cross quilt. And then I did some work on Hello Pumpkin, which is the caterpillar cross stitch kit. I'll insert the photo here of the finished design. And here's where I've gotten to now. So aren't the colours fantastic? I think it's genius really to put these beautiful rich colours in, to mix the teals and the purples and pinks with the browns and the oranges, the more traditional autumnal colours. I think it's fabulous. Last time you saw it, Mr. Fox had no head at all. Now he's got half a head. He just needs his forehead and ears finished off. I left it like this, outlined, so that I can do some fill-in at other times. I'm trying that technique. I've never really tried that before. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people outline a section and then they wait to fill it in when they're maybe in a carpool line, or waiting for the kids somewhere, or when they're chatting with other people. So I thought I might give that a go on some projects where that's possible, where it's easier to do that, where there are color blocks. So we'll see how that goes. I brought the acorn in, and I brought the leaves all the way up the side of this side of the tree, took some more leaves up this side, and I finished the owl. Look at the patternation on the owl's wing. Isn't it just gorgeous? It makes such a difference to have those small little design touches in, I think. So I'm loving it. It's so much bigger. I know I say this all the time, and it's so much bigger than I expected it to be. But big and beautiful is how I will describe it. It's really lovely, and I'm enjoying keeping this one ticking over, keeping it going. It's stitched, on a 28 count antique white Lugana from Swigart. I'm stitching 2/2, and I'm using the called for DMC colours. And that's from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, if you're interested. As usual, I will put all of the links to all of the designs and patterns that I mentioned down below in the show notes. Any floss tubers that I mention, I will also link them. So if there's anything that I forget about, please don't be afraid to ask, and I will answer in the comments. So that is Hello Pumpkin. And then I showed you last time I had started a project which I'm hoping to be for my son's Christmas present. It's called The Hardest Climb, and it's from the Emma Congdon book, cross stitch for the sole. So I have made a little bit of progress on that, and I'll just show you the pattern. So it's from Cross Stitch for the Sole by Emma Congdon. I'm almost afraid to show this again because last time it enabled several of you to go and buy it. So Emma, like it might be on a commission. That was just a joke. Emma, you deserve every purchase that people make of your beautiful book. I don't really know why I'm talking to Emma. It's not like she's ever going to be watching. Anyway, this is the hardest climb. It says the best view comes after the hardest climb. And as I said before, I'm hoping that this might be an acceptable cross stitch to give to a 20-year-old boy at university. So I'm making it anyway, in the hope. And here's where I've got to. I've come down the bottom, you can see the circular shape starting to come in, and this bit is a hot air balloon, a little hot air balloon. This is a mountain path. Again, I have blocked this out in outline, ready to fill in another time, and this one and this one. I'm not waiting forever, I'm just sort of keeping the pattern moving on, and then if the opportunity arises to fill in, perhaps when I'm watching a movie or something, or like I said, waiting in the car. So this is stitched on a 14 count Rustico Ada that I found in my stash. It's been there for a very, very long time, but I think it works really nicely with this sort of outdoors theme of the design. I love the colours that Emma has chosen, and I didn't change any of those, so I'm working with her DMC, suggested DMCs on this pattern. That's a little bit of progress on the hardest climb. And then I have the stitch along for La Finestra del Tempo, the monthly designs by Crochet A Go-Go. Here they are. Well, here are the first 4. We're working on February officially, but any month at all, if you still want to join, we're only in our 2nd month. There's lots of time still going forward. You can jump in and stitch February with us, or you can jump in with any month that you prefer to stitch. You might prefer, given that it's September now, to be stitching the October chart, which has now released. So yes, please join us in whatever shape, fashion you want to, as long as you're stitching this pattern or one of the 3 patterns, because it's 3 patterns of 4 months each. Join us. And just in case it sounds a bit odd to you that we're stitching February in September, there is a kind of a logic to that. I started the SAL last month with January in August. I know it sounds mad. With January and August, the idea being that it gives us time to stitch for the month, and then a couple of months to think about and perfect our finishes, so that come January 2022, it can go on display. So I started it this way to buy myself time, basically. But you don't have to do it this way. We are very welcoming of anyone who would like to join in. The hashtag to use is finestradeltemposal. Sorry about that. We left the la off. So it's finestradeltemposal. I'll put it down below so that you can get it right. Please jump in and join us. Anyway, as I said, it's the month to stitch February. And, well, I wish I'd gotten a little bit further, but I didn't. Plans were altered and I'm working around that. But I still have plenty of September left to keep going. And here we go with February. There's a kind of I think that's maybe like a his and hers house, although it doesn't have to be. There are 2 cats to come in this section, and if I remember rightly, one has an aqua collar and one has a pink collar, so perhaps they live in separate houses. Maybe that's why they still love each other, because it's all hearts and everything else. In the rest of the designs, obviously hearts and lovely little Valentine emblems. So I'm really enjoying this, as I did with the January stitch, and can't wait to get a little bit more progress. So I need to pick that one up again, hopefully over the weekend, make a little bit more progress. Absolutely adore these designs, and I'm so looking forward to having a whole year of them to display next year. Then I have, I think, 3 or 4 Christmas pieces that I have been working on, and I love stitching for Christmas. I always have loved stitching for Christmas, and that is not changing any as I get older. So my first piece that I will share with you today is Christmas Wishes by Little Dove Designs. So that's sort of a long skinny piece, and I have just been taking it in small sections, and I'm hoping that I might get it finished for maybe October, end of October, November time. It's stitched on an 18 count Rustico fabric using the DMC suggested threads, DMC call for it. And since you last saw it, I finished this lacy border in here and added the hollies and stockings and started this warm and the start of the snowman. You see, he's not finished. And on this piece, I'm just working the border as I go. I'm trying to keep up as I go. So when I come back to it, I'll probably start and bring the border down a little bit further. I love the little details in this. I love the shape. I love its long, skinny nature. Looking forward to that. I have no idea how I'm going to finish it yet, but we'll see. Gives me something to keep thinking about. The chart, if you've not stitched Little Dove Designs before, and I hadn't before this, the chart is really nice to work from. It's a colour chart and it's a good size. It's printed over three A4 pages, so it's not all, you know, this whole design is split into 3 pages, so it's not all squashed up and tiny or anything for you, so which is always good, is not to have too tiny a chart. Next up is my progress on And to All a Good Night. I'll just get a bigger board for this one. And this is a pattern by Stitching with the Housewives by Priscilla Blaine and Chelsea Carter. Probably my favourite of this year's Christmas stitches, although I have seen their new Silent Night pattern, and it will definitely be hitting the cart whenever it becomes available as a PDF, but I won't be stitching it this year, but I will stitch it probably as a companion piece to this. I'm hoping to turn mine into a pillow, I think. I think it will work well with Bonnie and Camille's vintage Christmas line of fabrics. Bonnie and Camille have lovely pink aqua tones in there, so I think this will work really well. Christmas mansions, we're still building. I managed to stitch the second mansion and start this tree. So it's not huge progress, but as I said, there's a lot of stitching in these houses. I absolutely love it, and I'm really just looking forward to keep making little bits of progress. Just keep it progressing a little bit at a time. I'm stitching it on a 14 count Peppermint chalkboard Ada, which I got from the Patchwork Rabbit in the UK. If you're looking for that, it's Peppermint Ada 14 count. They also have a 16 count. And the colour is chalkboard, so it's not a very dark black, but it's a very nice colour to work on. And the next one is the 16 count Ada, actually the next pattern to show you. I'll switch boards again, excuse me. This is the Fat Quarter Shop stitch along called All the Trimmings. It just started last Tuesday, and then there was a second release this Tuesday. This is a free stitch along on Fat Quarter Shop's website. If you want to find this, you can go to their blog, which is the Jolly Jabber, and all the details will be there if you search All the Trimmings. There's a quilt along as well if you're interested, and it's also beautiful. But there's a quilts along and a stitch along, and the patterns, free release patterns, are available on the Fat Quarter Shop website. If you go to cross stitch and patterns and look for their free patterns, you'll find it in there. So this was last week, week 1 with the holly ant berries, and week 2 were the Christmas stockings. Aren't they so cute? I love how they're all differently patterned. And what I do like about this stitch along is that it's not too big. So it's quite manageable in a week of release. I say that, and next week I won't manage, but you know what I mean. It's quite manageable. Sometimes Kimberly likes to do very, very large pieces. Oh, something is floating around. Can you see? Don't know where that is. Sorry, distracted. Kimberly likes to stitch some very large pieces, and she's so quick. Sometimes their stitch alongs are quite a commitment in the week. But this one, especially for this time of year, is, I think, just the perfect size for a weekly release. So if you're interested, it wouldn't take you too long to catch up. And again, as I said, I'm stitching this on the Peppermint Ada in chalkboard from the Patchwork Rabbit, and this time I'm using 16 count, which I have to say is actually quite a wee bit harder to stitch on. Mostly I would stitch on 16 count in other colours, but I'm finding it quite a little bit harder on the dark, the black, well, almost black, but I'm getting there. So I'm enjoying that. I'm using DMC threads for it, but not the called for. I didn't have all of the called for. I'm using some of the called for and the bits that I didn't have. So I'm using 2 different greens, for example. So I just chose a light green and a dark green that worked. Really, they're not the called for colours, but they work. I think my greys are different as well. So it really would not be hard to stitch this one from your stash if you didn't want to invest in a whole new colour pack. So lovely stitch along. So if you're interested, you can go and join that, or check out the hashtag, which is allthetrimmingssal. That is it. Oh no, it's not that. It's not it for whips. I actually have a finish, which I probably should have started with. And it's just a small one. It was one of my whip go projects for this month. And the pattern is called Stay Classy. And it's a freebie from @MamaLovesYouGB. That's Michelle on Flosstube. And if you don't watch Michelle, you really should. Please go and watch Michelle. She's @MamaLovesYouGB. She always has such an eclectic range of things to show you. She has great finishing ideas and tips. I have given her a shout out before, but it's always worth reminding you, just in case you didn't follow up on that suggestion in the past, then you could go and have a wee look. Fantastic finishing tips. She shows tutorials for dyeing fabric, tutorials for making the little cabochons as sort of ring bling and that sort of idea. So she has lots of really interesting things. And Michelle always shares a freebie chart when she does her floss tubes. And one of those freebie charts was her own design, and it is Stay Classy. So there isn't a picture to show you, but this is Stay Classy. I stitched this on the offcut piece of linen, which is a 32 count Peppermint linen in French Country Mocha, and it's the offcut from my Tudor Bee that I stitched by the Blue Flower. It's a lovely piece of linen, and you can see it doesn't take very much. I'm going to make it into a long skinny cushion, long skinny pillow, just for display. And I used 1 strand of Sulky 12 weight in the colour 4042. And I stitched 1 strand over 2 threads. And you can see, I'm sorry, it's not that good. Let's see if I can get it a bit closer for you. No, we still need something behind it. Let's see. You can see the colour of the 4042. sort of autumnal red into orange, orangey red and purples. So it's a nice colour. And I've said before that I do enjoy stitching with the sulky, and I will do more of that as patterns allow me to, and as I think about it, So yeah, it gives a really nice coverage on, that is one strand on 32 count, and the coverage is really great. I think I've seen people who are happy with one strand on 36 count as well, so I don't stitch on 36 count yet, but it'd be worth a try if you were interested. So that's Stay Classy, and I'm happy to have finished that. As I said, it was a whip go goal, so I've met that whip go goal. I think my other whip go goal will go to the wall, as it were, this month. I am reassessing plans just in light of the changes to our schedule here at home, but that's grand. You know, they're hobby plans, they're not critical to anything, so I will just adapt and readjust and keep stitching the things that I'm enjoying. So you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Christmas projects on the go. Be nice to just keep those ticking over, making a little bit more progress on those, along with Hello Pumpkin, and keeping up to date with the 2 sals, all the trimmings, and my own sal for La Finestra del Tempo, the time windows, charts. So that's really it for stitching and plans for this week. So I think, given that I was very busy, I think I didn't do too badly, and still had bits and pieces to show you. So just before I go and move into the Stitching Nook tour, I wanted to share with you a little gifted haul that I have from mybobbin.com. Now, if you've watched me before, you will remember that I have mentioned mybobbin.com before. So last time I was just sharing with you some kits that I had purchased. I had seen a couple of little promotional recommendations, promotional reviews that were done by other floss stitchers, and that encouraged me to go and have a look at their site, and I did order some kits. If you're interested in seeing that and my review of those kits, you could go back to episode 7 where I talk about those, and you'll see. Now this time, for full disclosure and transparency, this time the kits I am going to show you were gifted to me on the understanding that I would be happy to review them here on the channel, share them with you, and add the links to my drop-down box, just so that if you are interested, you can go and have a wee look. mybobbin.com is a Russian company, and I probably won't get their tagline right that she said to me, but when Olga contacted me, she said that their philosophy is to offer charts internationally at local prices. So it can be very cost effective for us to buy the charts from Russia and the kits from Russia. So when you go to their website, they have a section with charts, they have a section with kits, they have a small section for embroidery, and I think maybe knitting, I've forgotten, sorry. But if you go, there's a lot to have a look at, and they have a huge selection of kits. I could be there all day just admiring them, because the artwork in some of them is beautiful. And unlike a couple of other companies that I have been approached by recently, mybobbin.com accredits all of their work and all of the artists who fulfill their work. So I feel quite confident that nothing's being ripped off. So my bobbin kits are all reputable, known brands. Maybe not as well known to us in the West as they are in Russia, but brands like Pana and Riolas and Magic Needle, most of them use gamma threads or anchor threads or Zweigart fabrics. So I have been very happy with everything I've received, and this time when Olga contacted me, she asked if I would do a review here on my Flosstube for you, and offered offered me the opportunity to order a couple of charts, and I did that, and I had a look, and I was so tempted by another Christmas chart, but if you look back or you remember, I ordered 2 winter cottages previously, a winter house and a winter cottage, and there are so many beautiful Christmas kits, and I was so tempted because I've said before I love Christmas stitching, but this time I didn't. This time I chose 3 different kits just to give you an idea of the type of variety that's out there on mybobbin.com. So the first one I ordered is a Panna kit, and it is called the Cyrillic Alphabet. Okay, that's Panna, and it's the Cyrillic Alphabet. And the reason I ordered this was because I thought, I've had thoughts of stitching more samplers. They may not be reproduction samplers, but some more samplers. And I have a lovely wall in my bedroom which I think I would like to put some samplers on, and some of those samplers I like to be alphabet samplers. And when I saw this kit, I thought, well, why not put an international alphabet on there? It doesn't all have to be the English alphabet. And I really like the shapes and designs. I admit to complete ignorance about the Cyrillic alphabet, but I thought this was lovely. And for any of the rest of you stitching samplers, you might like to add something a little bit different to your alphabet sampler wall too. So that is the Panna kit, and it comes with the chart, which obviously I can't show you, but I'm going to show you the reverse of the chart. So this is the size of the chart. It is A3, must be an A1 or A2 size, because this one would be A4, A3 and A2, yeah, A2 size. So it's a really big chart for this, to chart this. The whole back side of this paper is used. So it's nice and big, easy to read, easy to see. There are instructions on this side in English, as well as Russian, German, French, Spanish, Italian, Polish, and something else. Yes. And there are little charts with instructions for the stitches. So it's a good clear chart. And then it comes with a piece of Aida fabric. And this, I believe, is Gamma Aida. Yes, it's a Gamma 16 count Aida. In a kind of grey colour. And obviously it's a monotone kit, so it just has the one shade of thread, and this is Gamma thread, which I have no experience of, but it is a well-known brand of thread in Russia. It feels lovely, it looks lovely, so it's a nice creamy thread, and that's what you get in the kit. Oh, there's a needle as well. I saw a needle tucked in the top of the fabric. Yeah, there's a needle just in there. So you have everything you need in the kit. Good value, good quality, and as I said, nice and easy to see, nice and easy to read, and the instructions are there in English if you want them, if you need them. I mean, most of us don't need them, but if you were a beginner and needed them, they're there. The next pattern that I chose, I have no idea how to pronounce this, but it is a Riolas kit, which is another good brand. And this is a kit that comes with a Zweigart fabric, a Lugana. So it comes with the Lugana, and it comes with, obviously there's a needle in that kit as well. And it comes with anchor threads. And there's lovely colours. So there's just the 3 shades of pink and some gold. And it comes with beads. So the reason that I chose this kit was because it was something a little bit different. So it's a little decorative pillow really, and not quite, it's not a biscorner shape, but it's that sort of idea. And it's got beads and beading. So there are quite a few beading kits on the mybobbin.com site, if that interests you. I thought I would give it a go. I've not really stitched with beads before, so I thought this would be an opportunity to try something new. And I thought it was very pretty as well. There are good instructions in multiple languages, including English, German I see here, French, Spanish and Italian. So there are instructions for that. The chart is beautiful. It's a colour and symbol chart. I won't show you, but you can kind of see through the back of it there. Again, a good size. And there are instructions on the bottom for how to pull it together. And interestingly, I'll show you the design again. I had thought it was stitched as a front and a back, but it doesn't seem to be. From what I can see here is that you stitch one square. So you stitch the design on the square and then you fold all the corners in. Like sort of envelope style, almost like this. So bringing all those, can't hold it very well. You bring them all in and you create the backing. You create a back and a front by doing this, and I'm doing this very poorly, so I apologize. That's the idea, is you've stitched the whole square. Part of your design will be on the, what I imagine will be the front, and then this piece is coming over, you're folding, stitching over to create the geometric designs for the back. I think this piece might be the back. Yeah. Anyway, I thought this was something different to try, and just to show you what is available on mybobbin.com. There were a couple of other ones quite similar to this, with different colorways, greeny gold colorways. They were lovely too. They were very nice. I was very tempted. The kit also comes with the filler to make the little cushion. So everything is there, and there's a beading needle included with the beads. So I thought that was very nicely put together. Everything is there, and I'm going to fold this up a bit better, not lose all the bits and pieces, because it is all there now. It needs to all stay together. So I thought that was nice, and just again to show you some of the variety available on mybobbin.com. I was able to order a third piece, and when you see this you'll know why I couldn't pass this one by. This is a magic needle kit, and it's a teacup. This one is called Cup and Apple Blossom, and I love the bees, and obviously I love the teacups. So you know, I in my last time that I reviewed mybobbin.com, I had a Luca S teacups chart, so I think teacups might have to feature heavily in my 2022 stitching, but I thought this was really nice. It comes with everything you need, really. I'm just trying to remember what the threads are. I think they're gamma. It comes with a 14 count Ada, the needles, the instructions, chart. It's a colour chart. Oops, wasn't meant to show you that. On the back of the chart, so this is a good sized chart, a good A3 chart. These instructions are all Russian. However, the Magic Needle Kit does come with a separate double-sided page of English instructions, and a good colour and symbol chart, good size, easy to read, absolutely no problems with that chart. And then here is the Ada, which is quite a yellowy creamy colour for this one, and then all of the threads are pre-sorted and they are beautiful. So I'm very happy with the three kits. I I really would recommend them. Their service at mybobbin.com has been wonderful. You'll know that I mentioned before how good they were at resolving what was a very small issue. And this time there was absolutely no problem at all. And the delivery came from Russia to the UK within a fortnight, within 2 weeks. And I've heard other people in the US giving similar timelines for their receipt of their deliveries. So it really isn't, it's not terribly long. I know we're all very impatient to receive and see our beautiful new goodies, but let's face it, we've all got lots to stitch on in the meantime while we're waiting. And it is worth the wait. The value, it's very, very good value to order from mybobbin.com. So if you are interested, the links are below for you. I have linked the 3 projects in case you were interested in one of the ones that I chose specifically, or I've just provided the generic link to their website. And I would encourage you not to worry about ordering from mybobbin.com if you are interested. I know sometimes you're not sure when you're ordering from sites that you don't know, but I have been very impressed with the customer service, impressed with their shipping, and impressed with the quality of the kits that you're getting. All the artistry, you know, they're all branded kits, and the artists are all given the credit that they're due, and the materials in the kits, in all of the kits that I have, these 3 and the previous ones, were all nice quality materials as well. So I had no hesitation in recommending mybobbin.com to you. So that is the haul that I have, the whole section, and I just have the giveaways now. So as I said before, I'm very grateful to you all for all of your support and encouragement and friendship, and I wanted to honour that and say thank you for that. So I have 2 giveaways today. So you'll know if you watched the earlier videos that I like to do a little bit of embroidery, and I'm kind of itching to get back to a little bit of embroidery, but I've got so many cross stitches on the go just now that's keeping me from starting a new embroidery just yet. But you'll know that I love embroidery, so I thought one of the 2 giveaways today would be an embroidery kit. And I picked this one up from Untitled Chapter. This is the French company that I've done several of their patterns, several of their free stitch alongs, and I thought because I like their quality and the designs and the variety, it's like sampler stitching, but they've got lovely designs. I thought I might share this with you. So it may not be for everyone, but if you are interested in the embroidery, then you might like to enter the giveaway for this kit. So all the normal rules for the giveaways apply to both. Please be over 18 so that I can ask for your address to mail it to. Please like this video and be a subscriber. And please don't say giveaway or freebie or prize or any of those kinds of words in your comment, so that other people, trolls, are not alerted to the fact that there's a freebie on the go, and so that this pattern is actually, or this kit is actually won by a stitcher who wants to stitch it. So if you would like to stitch this, it's a little Christmas star, and it is, I can't remember what size it is. Sorry, it doesn't tell me on the outside, sorry. But I could probably see if I bring it out. So it comes as a kit. There is no design page with these kits. It's a printed, it's printed on the fabric, which is a beautiful fabric to stitch on. So you can see it's probably about 5 inches, 10 centimeters across. And you would just stitch over the printing. So you've got this printed fabric and an embroidery needle, which I don't think you can see, but anyway, it's there. And then there are the threads, which are DMC threads. You can see them, DMC threads. and then that's a little piece of finishing fabric. And the instructions are in there, and they are in French and English, I'm pretty sure. Yes, French and English instructions for all of the stitches that are required. So just to show you, there's no picture of the entire design in an Embroidery Kit, but there are pictures of broken down bits, and then they are labeled. So there'll be like a line telling you that that is this stitch and what color of thread to use. I'll just pop it back together. And then there's a color key for your fabrics because they don't come sorted. That is the Christmas star, I think it's called. Yes, just called Star. So if you are interested in receiving the embroidery kit, please use the word mistletoe. And I know you're probably wondering why I didn't use the word star, but you'll see in a minute. So there's mistletoe in the top of the design here. So please use the word mistletoe in your comment if you would like to win the Un Chardon la Vie Étoile Star design kit. Okay. The second giveaway is a Plum Street sampler chart, and it is cinnamon stars. So I didn't want you to say star for that one, just in case somebody commented on cinnamon stars and then won the embroidery but didn't want the embroidery because the word star is there. So this is the chart for cinnamon stars. It's a beautiful autumnal piece. I absolutely love this. So I'm going to send you the chart, and I'm going to send you a piece of fabric that is big enough to stitch it on. So I have two choices of fabric because you may not like to stitch on linen, or you may not like to stitch on even weave, so I'm going to give you a choice. So first of all, I have a fat eighth of Edinburgh Moon linen. So this is a 36 count linen, and sorry, it's Edinburgh Winter Moon. I'm struggling to get the words out today. I'm obviously tired. Sorry, folks. So 36 count, Zweigart linen, Edinburgh linen, Winter Moon is the colour. It's a beautiful pale creamy colour. I've tried to choose fabrics that I thought were close to the model stitch as I can see it in the photograph. So this is the Winter Moon, and that is the 36 count linen if you would like that. And if you are not a linen stitcher and would prefer to stitch on even weave, or have never tried either linen or even weave and want to take a step in via even weave, then I have some Murano, and I will send you a fat eighth of that. It's in a bigger pack at the minute, but I will send you a fat eighth of Murano, and this Murano colour is ivory. It's a Zweigart, as you can see. It's Zweigart pre-cut, and the colourway is just called Ivory, and I will send you the fat eighth of that. And the Murano is a 32 count. So you have the cinnamon stars pattern chart, and you have a choice of either Murano or linen. 32 count Murano, 36 count Edinburgh linen. Okay. So if you are wanting to enter the giveaway for this, please use the word cinnamon, and then also in your comment either write linen or even weave. Okay, so linen or even weave and the word cinnamon, and that way I will search for the winner by the word cinnamon, but I will also know when I read your comment which of the two fabrics you would prefer to receive as your giveaway prize. So this is my 2,000 subscriber giveaway for you, just to say thank you very much for all of your support over the last number of months. It has been such a pleasure and a journey I really wasn't expecting to go quite this way, but it's been wonderful, and I hope to be here for many more episodes and hopefully a few more giveaways as well. So that's really everything for now. Oh, I almost forgot to say that I will draw the winner. Let's see, it will probably be Thursday the 30th of September, in the hope that I will be back on the 1st of October or shortly thereafter with my next video. So you have until Thursday the 30th of September to enter the giveaway. So just remember the rules: 18 for your address, like and subscribe, don't say giveaway, freebie, prize, and then you've got the word mistletoe for the embroidery kit, and you have the word cinnamon for the Plum Street sampler, and remember to tell me with that one whether you would like linen or even weave. So good luck everyone, and I'm very happy to share these with you. So I don't have any quilting to show today, simply because I've been too busy, but I did promise previously, and I've had a couple of requests since to show my sewing space. So I did pre-record a little snippet earlier this week so that I could share that with you, and I'm going to insert that here now for you to see my sewing setup and how things work for me. So as you can see, my video space is the bottom end of our dining area. It's an open kitchen diner, and this is the dining room end. And each time I record a video, you can see that I sit just in front of the dresser to the side there so that I can get a nice shot of the singer. And that's just to give you your bearings. Then you can see that down, tucked in under what is my stairs, is my sewing nook. I just call it the nook. It's a lovely little space. It's not very big, but it does the job nicely. Once upon a time, before Charlotte was born, there was a spare bedroom that we used as my sewing room, but obviously she was coming along, so we changed that plan, and all of my sewing bits and pieces were pretty much just packed up into tote boxes and put wherever we could fit them, down the side of wardrobes, on top of wardrobes, under beds, wherever. And it was really, really awkward to work with, really awkward to get anything out, and it wasn't really conducive or inspiring to make you want to do anything. So when we were supposed to move and didn't last year, I commandeered this corner as a sewing spot. So I call it Sewing Nook. It had been previously, well, it's had several incarnations, this little area. It was a toy zone, it was an exercise bike zone, but for most of the most recent years, it has actually been a home office space. But I've been able to change my home office space back upstairs again now that Charlotte was at nursery and is at school. So I'm now able to have this as a sewing nook. So you can see it's just big enough for my table, and I have a little IKEA trolley, and I also have use of the 3 bottom cupboards of the dresser. So the 3 bottom cupboards of the dresser are my fabric stash. I'll try to show you that. Sorry, it's all a bit wobbly. I'm not a cinematographer. So you can see that this is my main fabric stash, lots of low volume on the top shelf, my little Tilda collection over there to the left. Over here on the right are my newer Bonnie and Camille acquisitions, because they don't fit where my Bonnie and Camille actually stays, but don't tell anybody. And then down on the bottom I have, as you can see, a rainbow of stash fabrics, a few scrap baskets, this one right here, this one with the London fabric in it, is Charlotte's scrap basket, so that when the notion takes her to tear the cupboard apart, she can tear apart that basket first, and that gives me time to catch her before she drills everything else out, so she knows that that's her basket. I have a few Liberty prints down the side, and there's a couple of tubes of Ada from a very long time ago. I actually brought those home from America probably in the year 2000. And they're partially used, not fully, and there's another tube up there of a DMC even weave. So that is my quilting fabric stash. Over on the other side of the cabinet, just in this cupboard, I have a couple of tins, and in those tins, the shortbread tins and the Winnie the Pooh tin are pre-basted hexes, because I do love EPP and hexes. It's been a while since I did any, but I cut my scraps up and I prepare them and keep them as ready-made hexes for who knows what kind of project someday. And there's my little bundle of Tilda. It's just sitting on the edge of the top shelf there. Love it. So that is the fabric stash that is hiding in the cabinets. And then if we move over into the corner of the sewing nook itself, you can see I have this trolley from IKEA. It's not the same trolley that everyone else uses, the pretty version, but this one does the job. It would be nicer to have something prettier, but it holds quite a lot. So down here on the bottom, the two plastic totes are my quilting whips. So the very bottom one on the floor is the box for my granny squared quilt, and the one above on the bottom shelf of the trolley is my spelling bee quilt. Then you can see I've got a Halo Go light, which I use sometimes, and behind it is a basket of Lugana and other cross-stitch fabric stash that I have managed to acquire since last November. Yes, all ready for projects. Then I've got my patterns and some other paperwork, and you can see there's a scroll frame propped up against the side. The next shelf up is works in progress. There are my granny squares on that design board, and underneath that design board are finishes that are waiting to be fully finished. So you can just see on the corner there the canvas of the Be Happy needlepoint, and underneath that will be a number of little finishes that are waiting to be made into pillows or framed or whatever it is I decide to do with them. And then on this shelf at the very top, you can see that I have started work on finishing the Modern Folk Embroidery Home Sweet Home, but I haven't quite got all the way with it yet. So it's going to be it's going to be attached to the frame that it's sitting on top of when I take the frame out of the packaging. So, but I'll give you a better view of that once it's actually done. I just need to commit to doing it. Then on top of the trolley, there's a drawer, and in that drawer I have all of my smaller quilting rulers. So it does hold right up to the 12.5 inch square. It's a calculator. I have some of these cards which I cut. It's just a piece of card, and I cut it and I wrap my fabric around it, and that's the way my fabric is in the 3 drawers of the dresser. There's a 6.5 inch square ruler, a 12.5 inch square ruler, and a 14x4, and they all fit nicely into that drawer, along with other bits and pieces. A big ruler, as you can see, is on top of the little ironing board. It's just one of the small IKEA ironing boards. It doesn't cost very much. I do have sockets down there, so I am able to iron smaller bits and pieces up here, although mostly I'll bring my own bigger house ironing board out for quilting. But if I'm making small blocks, this one does a nice little job. I have a tailor's clapper, which is reasonably new to me this year, but I do like it. I do like the results and the nice flat seams that you get. And then that is my little floss box, which I gave a little tour of back in one of my first or second videos. So I won't bore you with all of it, but you can see I have since then acquired a little bit more sulky. And the DMC is in the top over here. So some of the DMC has come out of finished projects, and there's a bit more back in stash than with whips. Just up above that, I have a lovely print. Sorry, it's not a print. It is an applique sewing machine, which was a gift. I have my Laurie Holt Sew by Row, and I have this gorgeous little ceramic flower pot. So I wanted to make this corner look really pretty and very much me, because it feels like it's my little space in the house. And then we've got cabinets on the wall, and the cabinets have all sorts in, mostly threads, buttons, all your, sorry, not showing you very well, threads, buttons, haberdashery bits and bobs. And that one, and pretty much similar in the other one, scissors, pens, pencils, needle books, notebooks, wonder clips, my sewing, my sew together bag, 505 spray, there's glue in the tins at the top, and some lint roller refills, which you can see my lint roller there, fabulous for cleaning the cutting mat after a quilting session. A few little bits and pieces to decorate the cabinets. I will find more along with my mini quilts and embroideries over this way. So you may have heard the footsteps on the stairs. I was interrupted and I can't quite remember where I was, so forgive me if I repeat myself. Anyway, I have some smalls. I do have some other small quilts and little things that I would like to put up, but they are elsewhere at the moment and just haven't quite gotten around to it. So this is my sewing table, which is the tabletop from IKEA, and we just purchased the grey tubular legs for it. We bought this quite a long time ago, but I know you can still get it. I don't think you can get it in this maple top anymore, but you can still get it. It was a very good value way of getting a large tabletop surface, because this is 75 centimeters by 150 centimeters. And when I had the sewing room before, I had two of them in an L shape, which was really perfect. And I think the tabletops were like £20 each, and the legs were probably £5 or £6 for the sets. So it was a very effective way of getting good tabletop space for quilting. So I will sew here and sometimes cut a little bit, but you can see that I'm very close to the dining table, which is where I do most of the cutting. So it's very handy to be just quite so close there. That works really well. Sewing machine in the corner. Behind that is a lap tray, which I sometimes use for my cross stitch or bits and pieces that I might be working on when I'm on the sofa. My planner is there, and that is a little armchair tray, which I use at night time when I am cross stitching in the living room. It goes on the arm of the chair. I've got a little glass ort jar, my lovely needle book that Di made me in the summertime. Sorry, the light is bad over here, so the picture's a bit grainy. And my sewing machine is on a scrappy table mat. There's a tutorial for that on Just Jude Designs Flosstube. And on top of the sewing machine is an armchair caddy. That is from a book by Sidef Immer, and I'm sorry, the book's name is escaping me at the moment, but I will try to put it down below. I keep my medium-sized cutting mat on the table, and that's a little pile of the things I need to do something with, really. That Stay Classy is one of my whips that I will hopefully show you on Friday. Well, actually, it's a finish. And then I've got a basket for my cutting scraps with a beautiful heart shaped magnet made by my son a long time ago, back in the days of his hammerbead phase. And then in my wicker basket I have some of my stitchy notebooks, my headphones for watching Flosstube while I'm stitching, and a couple of embroidery hoops. Over in the corner I have design boards made to the Laurie Holt tutorials. Some of them are just my own size, but it's just her tutorial for the design boards, useful for quilting, and I also use them when I'm filming Flosstube to show you my whips. It's very handy to show you the stitching on as well. The two pink baskets are not terribly exciting. The front one, although it has my lovely needle minders and pin collection on it. It's only a small collection. You can't see it very well. There we go. That basket is actually Charlotte's homework basket, for want of having anywhere else to put it out of the road. But we do homework on the dining table, so that's quite handy to have that there. And the second basket is just paper for charting, graph paper for doodling, for making calculations, whatever it is I need to do. Down here on the floor in front of my table is my whip basket. This is my current whip basket. So each month I'll put on the planner what it is I want to sew, to stitch and sew, because there's some quilting projects on there too, so you can see. I thought I was going to have lots of time in September. I don't think it's going to quite work out that way, but you can see that I made a plan, and then I'll take that plan and I'll pull all the projects for it and put them into this basket. Any whips that are not going to be used this month go upstairs in a small cupboard. There's a small space in a shelf in my son's wardrobe, and they just get tucked away up there and rotated down if I put them on next month's plan, for example. Up on top of the cabinets, I can't remember if I've already said this, but there are two baskets up there, and they are for not whips, they are projects in waiting. So those are things that are being kitted up or are already kitted up and waiting for an opportunity to get started on. There's a lovely little wee bra bag made by my friend Di. And over at this side I have a nice Charlie Mackesy print from Judith, and I have my two little kimono girls, which I was delighted to find hidden under a shark curtain in a box whenever I was unpacking all of my stitchy things again. The shark curtains were used for spray basting, in case you're wondering what shark curtains are doing in a quilting box. Then there is the disaster that is below the table, and I'm not even really sure I want to talk about it very much with you. But basically you can see that I have loads of stuff stored in totes. So there is a box of a couple of boxes of scraps actually, and then there's a box of denim offcuts. That's those ones under the pink binders. Just down here, denim offcuts, and this one will be home dec weight fabrics. Beneath that is a tote of interfacings, and then down here I've got a box of bits and pieces that need to be sorted out, to be honest. This one is a box of linens, but not cross-stitch linens, the more sewing linens. This one has a magnifier and a pillowcase in it. So the pillowcase, sometimes I'll use it to protect a piece of work, maybe a piece that's in a Q-snap but isn't being used at the minute, and I want to protect it from the dust. That's why I've got a pillowcase. A few more boxes of bits and pieces that need to be sorted. And then I'm just going to take a minute and move this chair and edit in so that you don't have to listen to me scratching it. So down here I've got my pride and joy, my 2 boxes of Bonnie and Camille fabric and 2 boxes of Laurie Holt fabric. Those are the colourful cupcake boxes. Box of tin of Christmas scraps up here. a tray for dyeing fabrics. It's just a foil tray, and I've only tried to dye my cross stitch fabric once or twice, but that's what I've done, that's what I've used. And then further down I've got hand stitching supplies and more bits and pieces that are embarrassing and need to be sorted out, really. That is a quilt that needs to be hand quilted. I will tell you more about that another day. And then I have another sewing machine and a light box. The cardboard box in behind is a light box that I use for transferring embroidery designs onto fabric and such. And that's my spare sewing machine, the older one. There you have my sewing nook. It's a very nice little space. It's not well lit, as you can see, so I do have a daylight lamp up there, and sometimes I'll use the halo go on the table if I need to, but really with the light of the dining room and the daylight lamp, it's enough for quilting. It wouldn't be enough really for cross stitching, but I tend not to cross stitch there. The nice thing about cross stitch is its portability, and you can go and join the family and be in the living room with everyone else. Anyway, for those of you who wanted to know, that is my sewing spot. How to make the most of a small area in your home. I feel very privileged to have it, and I'm very grateful because I know lots of people can't devote an area of their homes to their hobby, so I am very grateful that I have this space to work in. I enjoy it, I make full use of it, and I intend to make lots of use of it going forward. Hope you enjoyed that. Bye. So I hope you enjoyed that. It was fun to do, and it's nice to see how different people organise things different ways, and maybe you'll get an idea or two from me. I know I certainly get plenty of ideas when I see other people's spaces. So that's really all there is for today, guys, and who knows what the next couple of weeks will bring for all of us, but whatever it is, I really hope that you will all stay well and stitch happy.